Carrabelle, Florida. It is not a touristy place like Panama City or Destin, which makes it really different. It's got a different vibe. We got here late yesterday afternoon, and we're set up in the campground. It's right across the street, and I am on my way right now to go claim our spot on the beach. It looks like I will be the first one here. So this is the second full day. Yesterday obviously was the first full day. It was bright sunshine all day. We were on the beach or at the pool almost all day. Today it's kind of overcast and there's a pretty big chance of rain today. Probably going to spend a lot of time around the camper, maybe inside or outside the camper, but probably pretty close. Looks like that's what the second full day is going to be like. I don't know if it's showing on camera, but there's some further out here. All right, so at Carrabelle RV Resort, this is the pool area, and I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty shocked that there is no one here. I know it's kind of a cloudy day. There's a little bit of blue up here toward the beach behind me, but there is absolutely no one here, and it's kind of surprising because usually by this time in the afternoon the pool area is pretty close to full. But anyway, this is it. This is a really fun area, great pool, saltwater pool, so really good time here. So we're on the beach in Carrabelle, and See that beautiful cloud behind us? Weather is showing. Weather is showing that that's supposed to miss us. It's going to kind of go on the coast over ground and kind of miss the coast. I don't know. We'll see. In the meantime, we're going to stay here on the beach until the bottom falls out, or we get all kinds of sunshine. In any case, we're on the beach. We're in our happy place.
Yes, we are.
We really enjoyed our trip to Carrabelle, but I will add a few things about the campground and about our trip. There, in the reviews, it says that there are not very many restaurants, and that's true. But the restaurants we went to were really good. We really enjoyed ourselves. The food was good. I'll also add that as far as the campground goes, proximity to the beach is perfect. You walk out of your camper and you are on the beach within just a couple of minutes. Just a very short walk to get there. But there are a couple of downsides, and when we first got there, I thought these downsides, frankly, were going to just about ruin the trip. When we got there, we knew what our campsite was, and if you're looking at the map, we were in campsite 66. And the campsites in that section, they're in the 50s and 60s, they are really, really tight, which in a private campground or a private resort, you expect that kind of thing because they're trying to maximize the amount of space they have to maximize their revenue. I get that, but they are pretty tight. However, they do have enough landscaping around them that it kind of gives you at least an illusion of some privacy. But if you'll, and I don't know if you can see this from the diagram, but the roads that you use to get to the campsites are also very narrow. And so when we first got there, there was a 0% chance we were going to be able to back into our site. In fact, I really didn't know how we were going to make that happen. So what we ended up doing was asking a couple of people if they wouldn't mind, to move their vehicles just so that we could get back in. And they did. Everybody was very accommodating and easy to get along with and work with. But we had to get some people to move their vehicles so that we could back in. And even then, it was still so tight that I had to have a lot of guidance. I always require a little bit of guidance to get in and kind of get exactly where I want to be. But this one required a lot of guidance to make sure I wasn't hitting the utilities or trees or the picnic table and other obstacles. Now, once we got in, I backed the camper up and got it exactly where I wanted it. And this presented us with the next issue, that the utilities, once we were in place, were all the way at the tongue. And I'm not used to that. We've been camping for 6 years. This is the first time I've ever had the utilities that were that far away from where my utilities are on the camper. So we had to pull forward a little bit to connect our power, which meant that we didn't get to really maximize the amount of space that we had there in the campsite. In the end, that was okay. That was not a big deal. But in order to connect our sewage and our water and cable, we had to have extensions for all of this. Now, my in-laws were there with us, and they had an extension for the water, but we had to get an extension for the sewage and an extension for cable, which, by the way, we didn't end up watching TV even one time. But the Carrabelle is not like a lot of other places where all of these things that you need are just a quick Walmart trip away. The nearest Walmart, I think, was like 50 minutes away. And so it was not easy to get to. And there was a place, there was an Ace Hardware that had the stuff that we needed. We ended up getting everything that we needed. And so just a feeling of, at the beginning, that this was going to be a horrible trip turned into not that big a deal within, honestly, just a few hours. We got it all worked out. But when you go, you need to know that you're going to need extensions for all of these utilities, or you're just not going to be able to connect. And going to get them once you're there is troublesome. It's just not easy to find them, and it's not easy to get and find and get to the things that you need. So another upside to the campground is the proximity to the beach. once I walked out of the camper, I was literally just a matter of 3 or 4 minutes walking, pulling my wagon across the street to the beach and being able to set up. And because there's so little there, the beaches were not crowded, and the beach is really pretty. You've seen in the images I've had, in the pictures. It's a really pretty beach, pretty place to be and hang out and enjoy your day. My final assessment, and I steer clear of recommending places or not recommending places, but my final assessment on this is that we really enjoyed it once we were backed in and set up. But those are a couple of things to be aware of, that you are gonna have trouble backing in if you're in that center section where I was talking about where we were. And your utilities are not conveniently located. So you'll have to have some extensions for all your utilities in order to connect. Would we camp here again? The answer to that is absolutely yes. In fact, we're already talking about doing it again next year, making this our destination again. So yes, we absolutely would do this. But going into it, you just have to be aware that backing in and pulling out are inconvenient, and once you're set up, you have to have extensions for all of your utilities. When we get a reservation next year, if this is what we decide to do, if you're looking at the map, we will probably get a reservation for that section all the way on the left where you see their pull-throughs. It's in the teens, 20s, and 30s. We'll get see if we can get a reservation over there where you pull in at a 45-degree angle. We watched people pulling in and out over there and just didn't seem to have any trouble. So I think that's what we'll do next time. But I will say that we had a really good time, and we would absolutely go again. And I'll thank you for watching along and sticking with me to the end.